Look at this old clan rally in the comment section. Black Panthers World War II. Because when I'm like somebody's supposed to be executed immediately. Black History Month. Immediate execution.
So do what you gotta do.
Ding, boy.
So do what you gotta do.
Thanks for all your help, inner frat boy.
Where am I joining it? Where is it at?
Because in case you thinking I'm trying to pull some of that old time nigger shit on you, Captain, I think you ought to know something. I had the very best killers there are. White killers. White ones, baby.
Where's my joint? Where is it? I got too many sources, good. Here we go, Let me set the stage real quick.
I'm Jewish. Okay, which month is Jewish history?
Which one is it?
God, there is one. Oh!
I want to show you one more of Morgan Freeman. This is from a couple years back. He was on 60 Minutes being asked about Black History Month. Again, his previous answer was stop talking.
Now we're through talking. Like I said before, somebody's coming here to meet me. And don't let them find you here when they come.
Black
History Month you find
Ridiculous.
As a woman in segregated America, Long says she was determined to prove stereotypes wrong and show.
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, come on. Tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't no.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it.
Her worth to society.
Had the problem of being black, and the only way that you could show at that time your being equal to whatever was going on anytime was to enter whatever was going on.
I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman. You want to say what
You don't own me, pig, and no motherfucker tells me when I can split.
Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
I'm talking to you, redneck faggot.
I know this white guy named Mike Wallace. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I always say this thing about the thin veneer that the woke have, right? There's this.
You're all like that little cool, and you'll be all like, whoa, and then we'll be all like, in your face, and I'll be all like.
Thin veneer of some of this makes sense, or even the left in general. There's a thin veneer that their economics make sense, right? Raise taxes, have more services, but it doesn't really work that way. There's this thin veneer of tolerance, and when you peel that off, there's a really like nasty person there. Like, look how simply, and I would say almost unintentionally, Morgan Freeman just exposed Mike Wallace. I don't think Mike Wallace, he was actually a pretty decent journalist and a decent guy. But like when Morgan Freeman turns it on him, would you want a Jewish history? No, what are you talking about? And of course you wouldn't, right? Of course you wouldn't. There would be no need for it. By the way, the black and Jewish connection as it relates to civil rights are deeply connected, because all of the places that we think of as ultimately discriminating against black people, country clubs, etc., they originally were discriminating also against Jews.
Oh, trying to make it about yourself. Crazy. That's why I don't fuck with none of y'all niggas, cause you're spineless. Yeah, cause I would have been shot Morgan Freeman in the head with a crossbow, but I got better shit to do. Morgan Freeman gets shot in the head.
This is not me fulfilling my destiny.
Oh, Professor X. What they say, Malcolm might get killed in the middle. Excuse me. Hey,
As a black woman in segregated America, Long says she was determined to prove stereotypes wrong and show her worth to society.
Had the problem of being black, and the only way that you could show at that time your being equal to whatever was going on anytime
Black
was to
History
enter
Month.
whatever was going on.
Nothing like the synagogue of Satan.
Right, there's 5 judges now in the New York Supreme Court.
Hey, off. I mean, you really showed them, didn't you? just to be neutral about it, right?
Your father never had the courage to come here, which makes him a wiser man than you.
Hey, double McGinn.
Your father never had the courage to come here, which makes him a wiser man than you.
Legendary gods of Egypt, please hear my call. In the name of every pharaoh that came before, I now beseech thee.
Awaken, mighty obelisk, and rid the sacred palace of this darkness.
How do you like my golden glow, Andy? Don't I look like a friggin' bronze god?
Your father never had the courage to come here, which makes him a wiser man than you.
Another one bites the dust.
My dad was a Black Panther, but you know when Disney makes Black Panther, now when you look it up, you don't see my dad protecting.
Your father was a Black Panther? Black Panthers, World War II. You sure about that, cuz? They say only if you can make it, and the figures ain't allowed.
Looking at the photos of these black tankers, I couldn't help but wonder what the Secretary of Defense, he was once a wartime commander, I wonder what he thinks about.
I'm pretty good at reading people. Let me tell you what his posture said.
You are not invincible here. You are just another demon, and like any fallen, you can be destroyed.
They gets to thinking they ain't souls, they gets to thinking they's as good as white folk. Don't worry none about their immortal souls. They ain't got no more.
Don't count stupid godforsaken nigga like me. Can't have so much.
Niggas like you just prove what the Peckerwoods say. We just beasts, willing to do anything, kill each other. No mind, no feeling. Shut up, nigga. These boys ain't gonna die like you gonna die.
Everyone has their eyes on you and is expecting great things from you.
About how the 761st was used in battle and how their service impacted his generation later. We were talking earlier, and I asked about the 761st, what you knew about them. Dichotomy, I guess is the word.
Most of all, your race is looking forward to your success.
Today's army.
Don't let them down.
World War II.
And damn you, don't let me down.
Thought African Americans would not be successful in combat because they didn't have the
will.
Yeah, the will, the skill. You know, yeah, exactly. So,
if you were in command, how would you have used the 761st?
I would. I mean, they're a tank battalion.
You gay folks that stole all our straight colors? Well, that's fine. All I need is black and white, exactly how I view the world.
Is what they call called Bastard Unit. And that was based upon the fact that people didn't believe that they could perform as a cohesive. But
how many men does it take to deliver a message?
If I were leading that unit, I would certainly employ it as a battalion. If you just
hold on.
Tend to think of the direct dinosaurs, chimpanzees. If you look at the mid-19th century cartoons of Irish Americans, they are shown in almost the exact same way, as animalistic, simian features, very ape-like, to convey a very powerful sense that these are people who are not fully human.
think about what they had to go through to be where they were. It was cohesive. They believed in each other.
Because the police is all true. Because the police chief sent one of his officers. That's true.
They would sacrifice for each other. Those are the kinds of things that make you successful in combat. That kind of cohesiveness existed in the 761st. Eventually, they demonstrated it. They were in the fight for
183 days.
183 days. They proved that there were a lot of heroes in their ranks, willing to sacrifice all for each other and for their country. And unfortunately, it took a long time for many of those heroes to be recognized. So,
yeah, many of them never were.
There has been an enormous change over time. The opportunities that are available to young men and women today, in large measure, are because of the many sacrifices of people that served in units like the 761st.
Tiger can't change his stripes, neither can a raccoon.
I was a sergeant in the 761st Tank Battalion, all black with white ulcers. We were considered expandable. I was a sergeant in the 761st Tank Battalion, all...
It's pretty fun to watch! You gotta admit, it's pretty fun to watch!
He's not gonna quit halfway through. Well, why are you pouring me? I'm right.
All black with white ulcers. We were considered expandable.
Well, it ain't up to us whether we'll live or die. Fearing death is the fastest way to lose. Just live while you can, even if it kills you. Right?
You know, we'll just put him, get rid of him. Get rid of him. Patton was, he was a great general. And so when he got in trouble, he said, I don't care what color they are, send them to me because I need them over here. And that got us in there. Otherwise, we may not have gone overseas.
I didn't know you were top. You ask anyone on the street, they'll say, that man, he's black. Sure, he's black. Get a hold of yourself.
Patton was a type of a general. He always up in the front. He didn't stay in the back like most of them generals. He was always up there, running up there in front and everything. And he was funny. He never got hurt until after the war. So, got killed in an automatic accident. Before we went to battle, Patton came to us. He stood up on a half track. He had 2 pearl pistols on his side, and he said, "Damn you, don't let me down." That's what he said. And we.
Hey, time for a PewDiePie cameo, right?
What a fucking nigger. Jesus.
Didn't let him down, and we didn't let the world down. We didn't let our people down. We spearheaded it all the time they needed somebody to soften up a town or a village or a hill, and we did 183 days without giving a rest. We had one soldier that got the Medal of Honor, Sergeant Reuben Rivers, but it was 30-some years later before he got it.
Hey. Stop trying to give me copyright claims, cuz.
German V1 bombs. A young black Canadian soldier named Robert Bud
Get them
Jones.
damn sabotaging Canadians. Excuse me. Really, guys? What is this?
In today's episode, I should be talking about a fascinating American group
Yuck, Mo.
that not only fought the Germans, but also fought racial inequality in its own army as well. The 761st Tank Battalion, nicknamed the Black Panthers, came into existence in April 1942 in Louisiana. The men trained amid the restrictions and racism of the Jim Crow South and the racial segregation of the army itself.
Like I said, don't associate you with me. That's my answer to you.
And Harbor Freight.
Hey, that's another ICBM for Sudan. Nah, send them another one, cuz. Come on. Need some more blood on your hands.
Maybe because already, look at these numbers. 78 million.
Earbuds out. We don't give a fuck what they gotta say.
Look at those numbers. Those are enormous. They're not quite 2020 pandemic.
Hey, you shut your... I will shove my arm up your ass and work your mouth like a puppet. You hear me?
Just over 24 hours away from
one more time.
Hey, you shut your face. If we want to hear you talk, I will shove my arm up your ass and work your mouth like a puppet. You hear me?
So do what you gotta do.
Thanks for all your help, inner frat boy.
I mean, she's more than qualified. She believes in the rights of women.
Trump's tariff on stuff coming into the country. It'll get manufacturing a boost in this country.
That era and time was a lot better than it was now.
Mark Murray is joining us now at the reality check on where things stand. So the early vote thing is interesting, right? And we don't want to.
Hey, let's go now.
According to account of Smithsonian Magazine, the House Committee on Immigration debated over whether Italians could be considered full-blooded Caucasians. And immigrants coming from Southern and Eastern Europe were considered biologically and culturally less intelligent.
Not with them beady little eyes you got.
Female voters versus male voters. And so it is kind of interesting. Women want to go to the polls earlier than men do.
But that might flip come election day because our poll shows more men say they're going to vote on election day than women.
Exactly. And it's important to note that...
Yeah, I ain't Scottish. That's about it. That's all it takes. You're not Scottish.
But our own poll shows that they are more people who are probably going to vote for Donald Trump than for Kamala Harris. Now, Callie, it's important to note in 2020, our poll ended up showing even a more pronounced Democrat versus Republican split when it came to early vote versus election day vote. Yeah. But as we're trying
hey,
to
don't believe me, man.
Versus election day vote.
The second you do, you're going to disappear because I already bopped you 7 times a second.
More male dominated than what we were seeing with the early vote.
There's also
oh hey, watch you fucking disappear on live TV because you'll disappear from the fucking live stream. People will forget you even existed, but like I won't.
It's going to be 2020 during a pandemic, and some Republicans have gotten the message, hey, let's go vote early, let's bank our votes.
They've gotten the message because the RNC and the GOP are trying to hammer that. They want to get that vote locked down now.
But one of the reasons you want to vote early...
Nah, don't believe your eyes, right? What was that shit where you're like, you keep watching the body cam footage and you can't believe what's happening? Like, well, let's apply the same shit, right?
Deliver that message, but we still see some Republican rank and file. The true way to be MAGA, the true way to...
You can't believe the body cam footage, right?
Yeah, that's because it's what
Sure.
he tells them what to
Okay.
do. And
Yeah.
he tells them to do that.
Nah, don't believe it.
On that point. Michigan. Let's talk about this, right? Because the unofficial results are now expected maybe midday Wednesday. So if it comes down to Michigan, it might be a long wait. Explain that.
Well, so
It's like,
again, Michigan
I know
has
you love to
actually
play
changed
around,
its process.
but like
And
Gogeta told you,
Democratic
game
control of the
over.
legislature, they've changed things where we really haven't seen that in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin at all. But the reason it still is going to take some of the counties, and particularly Detroit, Wayne County.
Yeah, who's gonna let you hold power, cuz? That's for pussies, nigga.
One of the reasons why we expect Michigan and also even Wisconsin and Pennsylvania to be faster.
Everyone has their...
No, it's not that one. There's another one. Fuck.
People forget when you actually had to count the ballots. People had to come in one of the county sites to count votes. And remember, during a pandemic, it was a lot harder to do that.
Yeah.
We're not going to see that. You have the man and woman power.
Maybe you should go try that bullshit over there in West Hollywood, nigga, because we don't do that shit around here.
Those three big states will probably have enough vote to count and to call races if there is a spread between the candidates.
All right, Mark Murray, you're teeing us up perfectly for our next guest. Thank you very much. Because yes, it may be election night or election week. Let's hope it's not election month, just for sanity's sake here, but it does come down to a few of these factors, right? First, obviously, how close is the race? You've got all these key battlegrounds polling inside the margin of error.
Where is this scene at?
People end up absentee voting. The states have different rules.
Above everything else.
I'm going to say something nice about Governor Tim.
Get ready to lose another war, cuz.
You're the praying type, and I imagine we've got a lot of Christians and other
Oh, we
people
got
of faith
proven
in this
track
room.
record ever since Vietnam. Haven't won a war since then, nigga.
Think about this. You know, we've all had tough days at work, right? Our hands hurt, our backs tired, but you have never had such a tough day.
Cause you know, this stone that I'm carrying is far too heavy for you to ever lift this shit. What's that joint? They're like, hey, can God make like some unliftable fucking stone that nobody else can lift?
The past 3 months, but think about this. The whole argument of their campaign is that Tim Walz and Kamala Harris have nothing to do
A demigod can.
of the last 3 months, even though Kamala Harris is the sitting vice president of the
Demi.
United States.
Not a god. Like Dr. Dre ain't a medical doctor, but he's a doctor. John Cena ain't no medical doctor, but he's a doctor. But Ben Carson, he's a real medical doctor.
You know, I've never met anybody in politics who's shameless enough to stand before the American people as the sitting vice president and to say on day one, we're going to make groceries and housing
And
affordable.
you're not.
We're going to get serious about the southern border. Kamala, you've been the vice president.
Who's that guy? Is it Rand Paul or Ron Paul? Oh, Curly Q over there. He a doctor too, huh? His hair nappy, ain't it?
And go out there and do it. Now, I will say, in Kamala's defense, every time she tells a
Let's go watch some people shit get fucking devastated.
Devastating flooding in Spain, Valencia, and other places.
The rain in Spain is mainly in the plain.
For sure, I'm happy that we have that little bit of that light at the end of the tunnel to think about in this instant. I want to kind of go back to the fact that you said OKC weather like this in a couple of months, if not a couple of years. Do you think that, or was your emergency?
You call your mama, mama. I call your mama, putana.
And how have they been?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, right. Absolutely. I mean, even though it's been a few years since we've had something.
Oi, putana.
As most people probably know, you know, they make movies about it. You know, we're used to this kind of activity.
Putana.
It's an objective statement to say we probably have the best emergency.
He said,
I think we actually are.
"Pezzo di merda." Oi, pezzo di merda. Pezzo di merda.
The weather systems get stuck in a place. So if it's raining a lot,
Pezzo di merda.
get a lot more rain because it's not moving.
Saputello. Saputello. Putana. Oh, stronzo. Oh, stronzo.
Wavier and stuck more often because of climate change, specifically because of
Flooding.
warming faster than other parts of the
Yeah, let's do a little comparison, cause I can tell you way more than 200 people. Oh, da rifiuti. Oi means hey. I think it's easier to just say oi.
Angry.
Wasn't this like just after Dia de los Muertos? Spain flood, Dia de los Muertos. Happened at like the same time, right? See, 4 days. Dia de los Muertos. Yeah, I took a bunch of years of Spanish and failed a couple times. Yeah, like right at the same time, right? How like not coincidental at all. Mexicans.
This is the Danza de los Diablos, or the Dance of the Devils. It's performed on South Mexico's Pacific coast, the region with the country's largest concentration of Afro-Mexicans.
Black Mexicans, Dia de los Muertos. Yeah, whose hair you copying? When I question why Mexico's all fucked up, I'm like, oh yeah, because they let go of their black history. Yeah, there'd be like, you know, their great grandfather. Be like their great grandfather was a black man, and blah 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 blah.
This is the Danza de los Diablos, or the Dance of the Devils.
One of the biggest factors that impacts your AI readiness is your data storage.
Coast,
Learn how data storage
country's
affects
largest concentration of Afro-Mexicans.
These dances don't come from Africa. They are Mexican, but these instruments are African, and we made them ourselves. Now the black people have united with the local culture and mixed with the local people along this coast, and we multiplied, and there are now many black people.
This country is home to more than 1 million Afro-Mexicans, yet these are marginalized and often forgotten communities. They represent around 1% of the national population. Mexico's 2020 census is the first ever to include Afro-Mexican as an ethnic category. Mexico's legacy of slavery began hundreds of years ago.
Pero ellos estaban, the slaves in Mexico were in the places where there was mining. This town was founded around the year 1800, most likely by fugitive slaves who escaped to the coastal regions where they could survive on what they found here.
Today, that original African culture still exists in a state dominated by indigenous tradition. Yet this stretch of coastline between Oaxaca and Guerrero states is an impoverished part of the country. There's not much tourism here, and local industry doesn't extend far beyond fishing and agriculture. Yet few black Mexicans leave to seek better opportunities, and those who do find the wider country not very welcoming. Indeed, for Rosa Hernandez, the lead councillor of Santo Domingo Armenta, Mexican
We're a vast minority in this country, so that's why many people have never heard of us. They think we're from another country. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black. But we
I don't think they're a minority at all, cause
that they recognize us, that they value us as much as anyone else.
As the Black Lives Matter movement around the world seeks change and equality for black Mexico, the challenge for these communities is still
I think you could probably ask like fucking like 90% of Mexican people, and they'll be like, yeah, they got like at least one black ancestor.
are many cities in America that really tell the story of the African American experience.
I don't even like. I don't acknowledge it because I'm not African. Zapatos. That's when, you know, when they're like black and brown. I'm like, fuck you talking about, cuz? What do you mean? Shh. Says what, nigga? What? Shh. I don't need some watered down whatever the fuck you are. They'll try and pull that shit like it's not black Mexicans. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about, cuz?
I want to address the few people in the comments, like,
because, you know, I've been to Mexico. And Mexico ain't make it. Them niggas down there, they ain't make it because they want about it. This is why I'm like, I'm Negro. I'm not black, I'm Negro. I'm not black, I'm a Negro. I didn't say a, like, whatever, Froggy. Froggy went according and he did right on. Yeah, I'm not a toad, cuz. I'm not a toad. Well, here they call it the totem pole, boy. No, it goes usually whoever they let sit in their wheelchair. Right. Where they're like, oh, they want you to speak for such and such. Like, yeah, you're not part of my community, G. I don't know who the fuck you are. How many times did they shoot you exactly? It usually go like whoever they shot, like, well, you know, speaks volumes about that. What's the champ gotta say?
When they do they're not the interviews that you do with boxers. Boxers usually don't talk. And all they can tell you is he ran 5 miles yesterday, or got good left jab, or I'm not that type Negro, black man, you understand? See, the questions they ask me on interviews and in colleges is the same thing claim are more complicated than you would ask the Queen of England or President Nixon or some senator politician.
You're like blah 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 blah. Like, look, I mean, it was less fucking opportunities for equal education. Period. That's the generational gap right there, where there weren't as many opportunities to be educated equally, especially since we have the internet now. You can like easily, you couldn't like do this shit then. Muhammad Ali couldn't like, you know, go to like YouTube or something and like, hey, you know, well, here's what somebody from St. Louis has to say about it, and like this is what happened to their family with sharecropping. He couldn't do that. You know what they say about frog legs, nigga? They taste like chicken. I'm in this shit for me, like I should be, cause the rest of y'all some bitch ass niggas. Hey Rosie, tell them hoe ass niggas. Hold on. Tell
As
these hoe ass, pussy ass, mark ass, trick ass, bitch ass, fucking Mickey sipping pussy motherfuckers.
America long says she was determined to prove stereotypes wrong and show her worth to society.
Had the problem of being black, and the only way that you could show at that time your being equal.
You need to shut the fuck up when grown folks is talking.
To whatever was going on anytime was to enter whatever was going on.
There you go. One more time.
As a black woman in segregated America, Long says she was determined to prove stereotypes wrong and show her worth to society.
Had the problem of being black, and the only way that you could show at that time your being equal to whatever was going on anytime was to enter whatever was going on.
If you want to fight me, well, you know, what kind of suit you want to be buried in? Cause what kind of suit you want to be buried in, mate? Cause you know, ain't gonna be nothing left of your body. That's my answer. What kind of suit you want to be vaporized in? Cause I'm not black, I'm Negro. Do 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 do. Like Genji, my answer is always like, hey nigga, I don't know you. Which war did you fight in? They'll be like they're an actor or a singer or a dancer or a writer or some bullshit. Like, what's your point, cuz? Who cares? What's that worth exactly? You Billie Holiday nigga will like, you know, keep saying it, right? You a writer, write me a check. Let me see how many views did this get. We're not gonna watch this shit. Just read these comments. Ain't about me. Let's go watch some real news media bullshit. I love not using my real voice for this shit. It's like the best.
Yeah, Hallie, I mean,
Hey, earbuds on. I don't give a fuck what they gotta say. We'll just watch it.
them wanting us to come in, giving us the tour, all of that is a strategic thing. They are as transparent as possible about
Man, I sure do love squishing people, cause
fraud, attacks that they might
nothing like squishing some motherfucker.
And Hallie, it's fascinating to see this process here. They have these election workers that work in pairs. One
They're
Republican
like Fame, Fortune, Platinum Records, squishing Europeans. It's every boy's dream. Hey Adolf, I know you jealous, cuz. I know you jealouser than a motherfucker, cuz. Would you believe me if I told you I did it just to like piss off Adolf? It's like, Adolf, you watching? I know you watching.
So this is one of the most important rooms in absolutely, and we're very fortunate to have it. It's state of the art.
I know you're watching, boy.
Has invested heavily in making sure that ballots are safe and transparent.
Hey, let's get Eugene in here.
Watch this live on camera 24/7.
It's been a while since we've seen Eugene.
What do you like about it? Well, I like that it's something new and it's just reviving like old rock and roll, and it's like it's raw again, it's for real, and it's fun, you know.
Results here in Arizona.
So I have to tell you, Liz.
What do you like about it? Well, I like that it's something new and it's just reviving like old rock and roll, and it's like it's raw again, and it's for real, it's fun, you know.
I'm like just the right age to be having fun doing this shit. Let me tell you, cuz, like, when I was a kid, I mean, looking at that shit, I'd be bored as fuck. As an adult, I can like really appreciate it.
Now a bipartisan push, Republicans and Democrats working together to try to push back against this very thing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, just to be able to show you that, what you just said, the best visual of that is where we are right now.
When I think about like 9/11 or some shit, I'm like, man, what a small event, right?
To ramp up the security here. There's metal detectors when you get inside, Hallie. All of this because of the
Hiroshima.
some of the election workers and working together. We told her can't because the second they go on camera,
Hiroshima, Nagasaki. 1, 2. It was like both of them at the same time. God damn. In a couple of seconds, nigga.
Protest 4 years ago, protesters got all the way.
Where's my other one?
Now, this is the area where I am that the protesters will be allowed to come, but they are planning to have snipers, if they need to, on the roof here and drone surveillance, all ahead of and planning what could be more protests to come.
Liz Kreutz, lots to watch for you, I know.
I do not lie. To have my revenge, I'll do what must be done.
Watch or listen to them all. Our bureau teams have done it for you. This is what they tell us.
When I first heard like the drill style trap music, I'm like, oh, this shit sound like fucking slave chains moving, cause
See it pulled off on the shoulder. Only the pilot was on board and
B-52. Yeah. Okay, you might wanna I'm not gonna say good luck. Nah, they sent a B-52 to meet me because they were desperate. Cause they sent me a B-52 as well. I was like, oh, y'all going B-52 to Washington D.C. and they were like, whatever, nigga. Nah, I can end this shit whenever the fuck I want to, cause I just like fucking, you know, I can like walk down the street, cause.
We're gonna hang on this as we do anticipate.
Can you believe that shit? Huh? No, just me out on the street though, sitting the B-52. Yeah, your whole democracy, just cause like, I don't know, cause I feel like it. Whoosh. No bullshit. Yeah, I can shut this whole shit down whenever the fuck I feel like it.
Monitoring our polling places. They will
Oh yeah, nigga, they sent me. I thought it was the AC-130, but like, nah, it was the B-52.
Undoubtedly later this week we're going to see
And I'm like, what's that going to do to me, man? Really?
It's a 24/7 national election command post at headquarters here in Washington, D.C. Funnel information that comes into FBI towards its field offices.
I'm like, y'all got money. My point about it was that, like, y'all have money for like military aircraft where you're like flying over my neighborhood, but you can't like give me the money you owe me. Like, really, nigga? What the fuck? How's that make sense, cuz? Yeah, whatever they're doing in Iran, right? You know, like, hey, cuz, they sent the B-52 to my house too. Right over my house, actually.
And that is why we at CBS News are so prepared, because we have David.
And I live like near Catholic University, so I mean, you know, that shit would have been gone. Whole the red line would have been shut down forever, nigga. I know a lot of y'all, you take the red line to get downtown, and you know, wouldn't have been no more Fort Todd, nigga. No more Brooklyn, none of that shit.
The White House. You're streaming.
No more green line, nigga. No more South Dakota Avenue. That shit gone.
Tomorrow, put an end to a presidency that has failed to protect this nation.
They don't have a word to describe. Danger can't describe me. You can't say I'm dangerous. I'm like above that. Way above that.
So we'll
what you gonna do, cuz? You gonna try and nuke me? Like, what's that? What are you gonna like? What's that supposed to do, man? I told you earlier, cause I was thinking about it. I'm like, if I knock that shit down, you know, like, who's gonna clean that up? It's gonna be a logistics nightmare.
Democratic Congress of Massachusetts on the early edition of
It was at night too, so you can't see it. You know, like, man, you know what happens at night around here,
on the
nigga.
late edition here on Bloomberg TV and radio. Panel, Rick Davis and Jeannie Shanzano. So obviously a little bit more contention from the
Hey, like AI ran, you know, you're not special, G.
This battle that has been described to us just as a coin flip. Jeannie, there's four.
They talking about like your whole country. They sent the shit just for me. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I'm like, you know, what's the space laser? You're gonna need like something like that. Like a million of them, trillion, billion.
You know, usually we see 50.
You got like the Death Star or something. Not that that's gonna work. You got like the Annihilar, I think that's what they call it, where it like destroys the whole universe. It's not gonna matter either, but
win that primary and get these seats. So I think this is a sad state of affairs for Americans overall that we have so few competitive races for the House.
It's a fact right now. Rick, I'd love your
I was like, for real, like, is that it? That's all y'all got.
Pennsylvania, Bob Casey up by 5. Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin, Democrat up by 4. Michigan looks tied.
I was like a little insulted, man.
Ruben Gallego over Kerry Lake by 5. Jackie Rosen in Nevada up by 9.
I was really insulted, actually.
In their respective states than Kamala Harris.
Well, it tells us that the base Democratic vote is there to deliver, so Republicans have to worry that
finna destroy the whole city just to like tickle me or something. Oh yeah. I'm like, geez, cuz, don't you know how this shit works for me? Look, man, I dropped my like traction weights on my foot, and it did more damage to me than like any weapon you could ever produce with it, because like only I can hurt myself. Pretty much, only I can hurt me.
Republicans unifying around their candidates, and the reality is the trading range is going to be somewhere between 50.
That's how it's always been.
Votes for Republicans. I don't think there's any scenario whatsoever that Republicans come out of this election not in the majority in the United States.
My foot's bruised from this shit. What do you think like your shit's gonna do? I'll just cancel it out.
Will actually remain the senator.
I was just gonna say,
me having an ingrown hair would do more damage to me than like any weapon anywhere.
Somehow did not make the list.
I'm more likely to like a nuke would do nothing to me, but if I like scrape my knee, oh my gosh, cuz it would like destroy me. Oh.
Well, we did.
And she said it's a real conversation.
Oh, didn't you pay attention in science class, cuz?
Is what Ted Cruz has brought to Texas, and so
hey, cuz, let's watch the film one more time.
Sad, horrific stories out of Texas.
You think they made? Are they still there? How are they still there, cuz? Oh hey, let's put it in landscape mode. How they make it, how they survive. Didn't take too long either. Took a couple of seconds. This is in slow motion. This is like 3 seconds of footage, cuz. Like you watching it off.
So, and then I would say Florida, because Tim Scott's
I hope you are.
a closer fight than in Texas. When you look at the public polling that's available. So
it's one of my personal favorites, but you know there's this one. Who's still left? Who's still alive?
Because that is a hot campaign.
How you still alive? Go explain that.
Very close election.
Talking about
what's keeping you here?
Abortion referendum in Florida. Rick Davis and Jeannie Shanzano, thank you so much. Great conversation as we get ready.
How many does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? 1, 2, 3. And you know, it could have kept going. I think like, I don't want to make it too hot, cuz it can't be all suspicious and shit.
It's time for us to go get some sleep while we can, and we'll see you back here tomorrow on Bloomberg TV and radio.
Holding all the keys like a janitor. I'm tired of cleaning up after you, man.
This DEI initiative, some companies have been leaning
Hey, I
into
used to
in the
work
last
at
few years.
Target. Used to.
You know Bud Light, Lowe's, Target. They've partnerships for pride festivals or featuring members of the LGBTQ plus community in ads. Now, some of these companies are reportedly afraid of being viewed as too woke or not woke, quote unquote, enough. CNBC's Gabrielle Fonrouge has been all over this one. What are you hearing from some of these places, from some of these big companies here about as they see it balancing act?
Yeah, Hallie, so what we're hearing from people who are kind of on the periphery of this, my sources in the retail industry and the people that are advising them, is that everyone's kind of ducking for cover at this moment, right? It's shaping up to be a tougher holiday season.
Look, I'll tell you.
We've got fewer shopping days between Thanksgiving
Again,
and Christmas.
one more time.
The election is dominating everyone's
Well, now you're giving me new stress, Gabrielle. I didn't even think about that.
I'm not gonna say I'm the nice one, but
Exactly. So retailers are already bracing for a rough holiday season, and then you've got this DEI situation in the background. So all of them right now,
like I'm not a nice guy.
connected to
My wife,
DEI advertisements or
they're way
stances
worse
and
than
the
me.
risk of alienating their customer bases.
So
And,
if you want to die in a flood,
walked back some of these
you're more than
initiatives.
welcome
Lowe's,
to.
For example, they said they're no longer going to be sponsoring.
You can
pride
just go to
festivals,
Europe.
parades. This just happened a couple of months ago. They said publicly
You could
that
probably,
the reason why
I don't know,
is to
man.
make sure that their programs are lawful after the Supreme Court decision.
We're getting to that point. I'm like, you know, they're gearing up to flood the fuck out of you.
That's what this comes down to.
I'm kind of. I don't want my shoes to be wet, cause I want fucking wet socks.
Millions of dollars. I mean, there's a lot at stake financially for these companies.
There's a lot at stake financially for these companies. The holiday season.
Nobody will drown your ass faster than some woman. So.
Season for retailers the entire year. It's when most people both their annual revenue and their profits. So if they were to become on the wrong side of a DEI battle, if they were to become the subject of some kind of culture war, a huge impact to their holiday sales.
Just I give all the powers to my wives.
Bud Light last year, when Target had Pride merchandise that rubbed some
I don't have
customers
any
the wrong way,
powers,
ended up pulling back.
but they do.
Later said that
I don't need power.
in their second quarter, and Bud Light
Powers for women.
The pullback or the fact that they did it in the first place?
Real women, mind you.
Pulled it back, and there were some people who were upset about that piece of it.
Because power can be taken away.
That's the tightrope that they're walking, because you have a large retailer like Target. They have customers on both sides of the aisle from every ethnic background, every income background. So you can't really keep everybody happy.
Gabrielle Fonrouge, so interesting.
Yeah,
We'll
you've
look forward
been
to your comments on
tested.
CNBC. Thank you for popping over here to be on with us tonight. Good to see you. Thanks.
You know what that rainbow shit's about? So they can flood your shit, cause that's what it's about.
Tomorrow we are going to have special coverage beginning 5
It's a
o'clock
trick.
Eastern, right here. However
It's a
you're watching,
trap.
whether it's on your phone, on your TV, on your computer, we're going to have
Keep
it on the
falling
network.
for it.
Yamas and I will be there.
Can't
starting
understand
right at 5. We're
why
gonna have
you're not a
every single thing to
leprechaun.
work through that's going to be just dropping in. And then, of course, the rest of our coverage picks up at 7
Ain't no
o'clock.
pot of gold at the end of your rainbow.
Chair.
It's like,
We
what
look
the fuck?
forward to seeing you then. We're
They
getting
could have
close.
picked like literally any other symbol, cause. Alright, it's like this, right? If the LGBTQ community or whatever the fuck else they're going like add to their shit, if they had like put the pentagram as their symbol, you think they would be selling like pentagram merchandise? If the LGBTQ joint was like a fucking satanic goat, you think they'd still be selling that shit? And the answer is probably yeah, probably. Pretty close, because the satanic symbol, they used a rainbow too. I'm like, whoa, since when are you allowed to do that? Holy shit. Could be anything, cuz. They could have chose anything. When it was just like lesbian and gay, I was like, this is fine. But once they started adding other shit, I was like, what the fuck's happening, man?
The term silent majority. Silence does nothing. Silence in the
strange, G.
evil is evil itself. And folks, we
L,
cannot
lesbian, G, gay, B, you lost me at B, cuz. By what?
in the army was not just a duty, it was a promise to defend America, not just on foreign soil, but right here at home as well. When you raise your right hand to take
when it got to B, I was like, I'm not too sure about that one, G. The first two say that, like, you know, number 3 right there just don't work. And then there are like all these other letters. It's like, are you gonna like add a Z? Are you like a zoophile or whatever? You trying to have sex with animals? Because that's where it's going, basically. LGBTQZ, right? You're like, yeah, cuz we're gonna have sex with this goat, and then draw this pentagram, and just full circle. You get that, huh? Yeah, full circle. 6 letters. They're 1 letter off, cuz. And then you want to get that fucking chip in your brain. Oof. Mark of the beast. And then, you know, Republican voters still be like, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, you want the guy who wants to put a chip in your brain, the mark of the beast, you want him on your presidential ticket, right? Huh? That's you, huh? You ain't no Christian, nigga. Stop lying to yourself. You don't believe in Jesus. Anybody that supports Elon Musk, like, basically you support Satan. That's it. There's no difference. It's the mark of the beast. A chip in your brain. You'll be like, they're helping paralyzed people. Like, didn't your God paralyze them? Weren't they like, you know, it was better? It takes like the mark of the beast to unparalyze them, don't it? Ain't that like really not a coincidence? You wonder why? Takes some type of satanic devil shit to like unparalyze the nigga. Like, wow, I wonder why. Only the power of Satan could like unparalyze them, huh? Yep. Whoa. Not suspicious at all.
After the votes are all tallied. So we're continuing to follow this as it's been a whirlwind day on the final day of campaigning for the
I don't believe in it. I know it to be.
Then Reading, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and cap off.
Believing is for motherfuckers that don't know anything.
In Grand Rapids, Michigan. So plenty to get to over the next several hours here as we are just now.
They'll be like, well, you know, I believe
until the clock strikes midnight.
You need a flathead, like it's a Phillips. Takes a Phillips cut.
To come, but let's get you a little bit of a roundup of what we're following today in terms of these two campaigns, the Trump-Vance ticket. A busy day for them.
You can't put this Phillips in the flathead, that's for sure, right?
For the Trump side of things, let's hear.
Like, no, nigga, you got the wrong type of screwdriver. You're going to use the flathead and you're going to strip it. Stupid.
Campaign will watch the numbers roll in tomorrow night. They're causiously optimistic heading into election day.
Yeah, go ahead. Put that Phillips. Try to put the Phillips in the fucking flathead, dumbass. No. Go ahead and put the flathead in the Phillips and like strip the shit, stupid.
But you have to get out. We have to vote. Just show up and vote.
Former President
Go
Trump
ahead.
sweeping battleground states today, with 2 stops in Pennsylvania, a state that could be the determining factor in the race for the White House.
Everybody's been spending a lot of time there because we know how absolutely critical it is.
Earlier in North Carolina, Trump announced wins on day 1. He'll tell Mexico's president to stop migrant traffic flowing through Mexico.
They were gonna flood your planet like an angry woman.
Coming into the U.S.
If that doesn't work, I'll make it 50.
Like 8 cut. Why should I waste my time? Make it some like 20-minute YouTube video when I could just live stream for hours, cut it when I feel like it, and just start another one.
Someone like me who says, listen, don't listen to anybody.
Just buy a
Cause
simple
like try some cocoa butter. There you go.
Keep on investing period after period. If
Like
I'm
look 20 years younger overnight.
a year to manage your money,
You put the cocoa butter on there, like, it's like 30 years younger.
these guys do very well. Is that sinister? You know,
Like
I don't
he's
know.
25
You can call it
again.
Sinister, anything you want, but is there an incentive to make it seem like it's
just
very
math, cut.
complicated, that ordinary people can't do it themselves? I think that's absolutely right.
The honest truth is, it's not necessarily that I
Yeah.
think that the aura of complexity on Wall Street is coming from a sinister place. It more like it makes me feel bad, or makes me feel dumb, and that I appreciate that your book is sort of written so that I can understand it. But it does make me think about exclusion in a small way, because so many
I started using this anti-aging cream.
so few people in this country, because the very wealthiest people in America have such giant portfolios.
Not where you think though.
The stock market goes up, inequality goes up too. Is there anything that can be done?
The state looking, I don't know, I think I've always looked old. I was looking in my like my 9th grade, where I was like 12, my 9th grade school ID. I'm like, man, I could have like grown the beard I have now. Then I don't think I'd look older at all. That's my thing.
For example, opening
My mom would always joke that I'm like, you know,
economic opportunity,
like in the 9th grade, 12 years old, and I look like I'm 27.
helpful for women.
Here I am, I'm 30 now, and when I look back at the shit, my 9th grade school ID, I'm like, man, she won't fucking joking, cuz.
That rather than there being just a small
I looked at like one of my, I have an ID from 2001 when I'm in the 1st grade. It looks like I'm like 14, cuz.
in our population, and so my own sense.
That's what it looks like. And you know, I age twice as fast as everybody else. Whatever the fuck. I'm like, man, I look old as fuck to be in the 1st grade.
Really just the concept of genius. Is it like the way we need heroes and heroism? You know,
From my perspective.
I think we need innovators, and I'm not saying that
it's from like
innovation
November 4th,
isn't good. We absolutely
2001 when this issue.
I'm not call them geniuses, and Jack Bogle would certainly have never have called himself a genius. But
I see
think we do need innovators.
Wow, like, you know, when I think back to like my senior year and like the freshman, I'm like, man, my 1st grade self looks like some of these high school freshmen. Like, sheesh. I'd say that like this might be the thing for a lot of people from my generation.
But will there be improvements in the payment system?
Like when we were going to school, we went to high school.
Currencies in the future that are stable and that are useful.
Like you make it to senior year, and then you see the freshmen, and you're like, who are these like little kids? Because we go there and like we didn't look like little kids, cuz. We did not look like little kids, nigga. We looked like fucking rugged veterans and shit.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Stay tuned. We have a very far out.
It's freaky. Yeah, anyway, one more time. B52. Excuse me. look, I ran. Might want to think about this one, G. Might want to think about it, cuz. Oh no, don't worry, I got you. I know how y'all go. Let me do my part. There you go. Yeah, I figured you was in one.
پاسخ به تجاوزات رژیم صهیونیستی کنیم و در این زمینه از با تمام قوا بهره کنیم.
Iran flag. It's important to be neutral. We're going do a little there you go. Let me move my ticker real quick. Biscuits, cut biscuits. Ay. That's not gonna work. There's no way you can see that. Oh my gosh, I have to have this somewhere or I'll get like insider trading charges or something. Maybe if I make it transparent. Drop the opacity. Neutral. Pakistan flag. Interesting. Eugene, look at Eugene. My back hurts, man. Da, 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 da.
What do you like about it?
Well, I like that it's something new and it's just reviving like old rock and roll, and it's like it's raw again, and it's for real, and it's fun, you know.
Is what it is, mate. Gotta get up and gotta go away. Golf course. Green screen. Hey, 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 hey. Quan Chi. Shang Tsung. Be like Shang Tsung. G. Nigga, go tell Astaroth. Oh, I'm gonna get covered quick. Yeah, it'll be like the Jade Emperor, blah blah blah. Because everybody knows Shang Tsung was supposed to be a goddamn Jade Emperor. Yeah, the guy that gets the Buddha to like Bop Wukong, right?
The legend of the
In Chinese mythology, the Jade Emperor, also known as the Heavenly Grandfather, is often considered the ruler of heaven and all realms of existence below, including that of humans and hell. The Jade Emperor and his wife, Zhuangmu, the Queen Mother of the West, reflects themes of balance and harmony. The Jade Emperor is often depicted as a wise and benevolent ruler, presiding over the celestial bureaucracy with fairness and justice. His wife, the Queen Mother of the West, is associated with immortality and the nurturing aspects of nature. Legends speak of their celestial palace where they host the famous peach banquet, offering the peaches of immortality to gods and heroes. Together, they embody the ideal partnership, representing the dual forces of yin and yang, which are fundamental to Chinese cosmology and philosophy. Their myth underscores the importance of balance and the interconnectedness of all beings in the universe. In Chinese
I'm hungry. Leprechaun. They said good guys wear black. They say the good guys wear black. Like, why you trying to be a thief? Cause why'd you steal what belonged to him? Did he like work for? Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter versus Dasalim. Martian Manhunter versus Dasalim. I think that's how you see it. Yeah, that yoga fire bullshit. You could face your peers. Why you think it's yoga fire? Why you think the Street Fighter guy does like a fucking fire with his mind. I don't know how to spell Dashlim. Static shot. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Hold on. I don't know how to spell this shit. D H A Not no fucking coincidence, cuz. Yeah, the yoga guy, he can teleport.
Enlightenment is still far away. Life is not to be rushed. You should retreat. Yoga, 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 yoga. Well fought. This is the power of a yoga master. Life is endless reincarnation.
Oh, there you go. Talking about he turns into a black dragon, whatever, nigga. Oh, white supremacist over there. The red on this one, really? I'm sure he didn't change that. Maybe it's like the other one I'm thinking of. It's that thing. Omni-Man versus the Dragon. Yeah, that guy, Martian Man, huh? He's like, yeah, hell. He's like, I gotta fight that fucking dragon. Oh. He's straight up like, nope, not my problem. He's like, hey, we don't live here. Hey, yeah, that Thrag shit. Hairlines. Now, one more time. Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor, redhead.
Mr. J,
If nothing else, I can.
It's like looking in a mirror.
I have no idea who this is.
Like looking in the mirror. Like literally. I think it's time. They have it in one where he like joins the Justice League.
some
irony. It's like, because, you know, Nagato can't use his legs. Nagato versus Six Tails. Pain versus Six Tails. He's like, yeah, he's like, Nagato's like, he's like totally a poser, dude. Shh. They got the same hairstyle, got it. Shh. Ironically, though, he gets the Rinnegan anyway. Need to go check the weather.
To watch this secondary system that we've been keeping a close eye on. And during that time frame, in an area like Puerto Rico, we are still going to be getting in on some heavier rain as well. So a lot of tropical moisture that's been pretty much settling into places north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola.
You got some shit planned for y'all, cuz they got some shit planned for you.
A 20% chance over the next 7 days. So it's a very slow developed system that we'll have to watch, and at this point it's still a possible situation. It isn't fully set in concrete in stone, but here's a look at where we stand right now. So a lot of activity aiming towards the Western Antilles and moving into, say,
it's because I turned the color on.
The Dominican Republic,
my eyes hurt.
that are getting in on that rain too. To Steve's point, we have an area of high pressure. It's a little closer to home, but it
well, I mean, you should see the reason I like truly turned this shit on is so you can see
westerly trajectory over the next couple of days. So here's a look at that area that we were watching.
This shit on the weather where like it's green, like no, it's not, nigga.
So certainly plenty of time to watch. And notice as organized as Raphael is by the end of this week. It isn't going to be until the weekend that we start to see maybe some type of similar organization.
They're like over here, green is like rain or something. So you know, you do the math.
It's right around here with those rotating winds that make
you see that pressure system forming
areas like the Keys and Florida.
That's
but
pressure, cuz.
if this were to become
Gravity.
not a developed system, but two even a named storm, next name on the list would be Sarah. We already have Raphael, which we are watching now. Sarah would be that secondary S name, or that S name storm that we'll have to watch heading into later next week.
Now let's talk about areas like Arrowhead. You got severe storms that are pushing through. Look at the tailgates, though. A lot of people enjoying some Kansas City barbecue.
Yeah, all that.
Question is, will Patrick
on
Mahomes
their
and the
radar.
Chiefs grill the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight? They're the only undefeated team left in the league. We're going to be talking about the rain chances there and outside of there as we push into Election Day tomorrow. We'll have more on this after the break. Stay with us.
Fox Weather Forecast Center. It looked like a chance of morning rain.
The UV index is at a...
Shit straining the fuck out of my eyes looking at this. I don't know, maybe you're okay with it. My eyes are exhausted.
Part of their effort to lose
Yeah, don't look at the eclipse with no glasses.
more rural areas.
Eyes be all fucked up.
Now, is this part of a big trend and we're going to see, oh, well, gosh, she lost by less in all these counties out there and that's how she won? I don't know.
Yeah.
No idea.
Amy, what do you think?
It still feels to me like we're coming down to Pennsylvania, like we did last time. And once again, it is a combination of, for both candidates, losing by a little bit less in certain areas, winning by a little bit more. There are going to be some swing counties that make.
I'll tell you, cuz, I don't know how I manage with my wife, because like, I can't spell for shit. I look back at some of the messages, and they know I'm trying.
In Northampton County, in Bucks County.
Oof.
That could give us a sense of
Can't
who's doing
spell.
a little bit better, a little bit worse. Than
Huge trade-off, cuz.
you know, about Iowa.
Because
I'm good, Barry.
she's a renowned pollster, we should say highly respected. This poll that
Written
shows
language
her
is
that
pretty
she's
recent, man.
beating Trump in a state that he won easily twice.
English is just like fucking retarded, cuz.
What it means for others.
I know it, and it's not just that she's renowned. She's also well renowned for being what looks
It's
like
too many silent
in
sounds, cuz there's way too many.
Iowa, basically the opposite of what a lot of people thought that was going to happen.
Pronunciation of
Iowa,
stuff.
nationally, and she ended up being right. So I think that's why she gets a lot more weight. Part of the challenge we have with Iowa, because it's not a swing state, we don't have a lot.
They said they need some water.
What we do have, though, are competitive House
Where's the
races
T in there?
that are showing
Water.
us doing a little bit better than how Biden did in
You
those
sure, cuz? Really?
districts. So
That's English to you?
there is a sense that in those places where Harris is also doing a little bit better there. Those areas where Harris is doing a little bit better, they are in more urban areas, like around Iowa City. The other thing that I think is really interesting is this has driven the lead for Harris in this poll by independent.
Hold on, let's need to go talk about this British
to Harris in states that aren't very
shit where like your parents are from the Caribbean.
Kansas,
where you're talking all this bullshit. Nigga, your parents are fucking American. Fuck you.
population where older women are going to.
They're not from the United States. They're from America. British, Caribbean. British, Caribbean.
Though it's changed.
Salute. I destroyed it on the version. They be like blah 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 with their yuck mouth accent. Like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Put your parents on the phone, nigga.
But your babies would be born here.
Yeah.
They would still probably identify as African.
Yeah.
Or would they identify as Black British?
Most people here that are black, that are from either the Caribbean or Africa, will never call themselves British. They'll call themselves Caribbean. They'll say, I'm from Jamaica.
Like, say it gets a few generations down. Like, second generation, still the same thing?
It will still be the same thing.
Wow.
You never really hear someone say, I'm Black British. That's just for the forms, right? When you fill in the forms, you say Black African, British. But real talk, if you ask a Jamaican where you're from, you're never going to hear them say, I'm Black British. I'm from Jamaica. Even if they've never been there.
Yeah.
They were born
They got a full British accent, like
everything.
Born and raised, acne, where it get active, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah, well, for us, we feel like we're just here, we're visiting.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like this is home.
Yeah, because you say, oh, we'll go back home.
We're going back home.
Yeah. It's a part of it that really likes them.
That's sad, cuz. It's pathetic.
Yeah. But that comes back to the Caribbean thing, because Jamaicans like are considered like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but like if you go, this guy's Nigerian, he's Igbo, this guy's Ugandan, this guy's Kenyan, whatever, this guy's Jamaican, this guy's Trinidad. Like, those are two slave colonies. That's the same thing as America.
Yeah.
Black people got to Jamaica the same time we did in America.
Yes.
But that's considered like a valid identity. It's not. It's like 200 years old.
Sad. That nigga's pathetic. Boy, you European and your parents are Americans. Like you failed geography. How you failed geography, cuz?
Black British Caribbean men don't want to get married.
I mean, like, what are they even trying to say, cuz?
They don't? Black British Caribbean, I barely know. Yeah, I barely know any Black British Caribbeans. Back in the Caribbean, they will get married. They won't do it here, but they will back in the Caribbean.
In love with somebody, I don't think it needs to be on a piece of paper. Innit? A lot of relationships, including mine, is based around conflict.
Black.
Ay, ay, ay. British black people go to Jamaica. British black people go to Jamaica.
You Jamaican, and you telling me black Americans don't know where they're from? Tell me.
There's no explanation. I've already said what I said, innit? I'm sticking with that, bro.
You're not born in Jamaica, right?
No.
What do you think real Jamaicans who were born in Jamaica are gonna think about what you're saying right now?
My parents weren't born in Jamaica. They're born here.
All right, so they Windrush.
My grandparents were born in Jamaica.
All right, so what do you think about the real authentic born Jamaicans are gonna say when they, because they know their history.
Yeah.
When they see this, they see you talking like this, what do you think they're gonna say about you?
What can they say?
That you're retarded. That you're a yuck mouth. Probably. That you're like some filthy European. That you're definitely not a real nigga.
Bro, what can they say?
Bro, what
is wrong with what I'm saying?
You don't know history.
Tell me what I don't.
You don't know history.
Maybe I don't.
You're
But you don't as well.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
No, what? We're not in the same boat. Bro, let me tell you something.
Black Americans specifically.
Like Jamaicans.
Get off your chest.
Black Americans specifically don't know where they originated from. That's it.
Prove it.
I don't need to prove it. I'm saying you don't know.
Say this
If I ask you where your parents are from, or you Jamaican.
My parents are from America, good. Like your grandparents. My parents are from America. Like, what's this retard comment, cuz? If you were born on the island of Jamaica, you're from fucking Jamaica, cuz. You're not from somewhere in Africa. Maybe your ancestors were, but you're not.
I wanna switch topics because this is a bit.
Mama, you think people from the Caribbean are Americans?
What?
You consider people from the Caribbean American? No. What do you mean, no? Why not? You think Canadians are American? No. What continent do we live on?
You said what, Russell?
What continent do we live on?
North America.
So Canadians aren't American?
American is America.
Yeah, the continent.
You didn't say continent.
What else is America?
Well, only one country.
What country do we live in?
Okay, whatever you want to do.
The United States of... Good gracious, what's wrong with y'all?
You asked me a question, then you want to fucking browbeat me about the answer.
I'm not browbeating you, I'm trying to find out. You think Africa's a country too?
Is a what?
You think Africa's a country?
It's a continent.
Like America?
Okay, Russell.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm just trying to learn something. Y'all niggas got problems, cuz. The Caribbean is part of America. Excuse me. Y'all niggas weird, cuz I see why y'all can't get shit accomplished, man. That's crazy she said that. Well, not really, not for her. Black British people go to the Caribbean.
I wanna switch topics. I wanna switch topics because this is a very controversial talking point on the internet right now. TikTok, and I see a lot of UK people speaking about black Americans. Right? So what a lot of people, the UK, Africans, Caribbeans, a lot of the talking points, black Americans or have culture. What do you say to those people?
That's a projection. That's a projection because we are the culture. Our lineage goes back to this country longer than the lineage to their countries, especially over there in West Africa. Not West Africa, all that. Many of those countries were basically created in the 1800s at the Berlin So they don't have a deep, rich culture. That's why a lot of them have to leave, because of a lot of tribalism. They're not as deeply rooted as they're supposed to be. So they do a lot of projecting onto us. Our culture is so deeply rooted here. Everything about American culture that is good comes from the foundation of Black America. The food, the dance, the slang, the sports, the entertainment. They can't say you can't use those examples nowadays. But why can't we? The foundation of Black America, we created the modern doorknob. We created the modern toilet. We created modern dry cleaning. So many things that we created. We created the modern home security system. I mean, we have 50,000 patents. We can claim all of this stuff. All of the music genres was created by the foundation of Black Americans. We are the culture. And they know this, because if you go to their countries, they're acting like us. We're not acting like them. They got on baseball hats and Nike shoes and stuff that we're wearing. Right. They wear kente cloth sweatpants. They're wearing Nikes and Adidas like we're wearing.
So even when you put to say about Africa, I seen an old map of Africa before they had the invisible line of borders of countries, and they said those countries didn't exist until like the conflict was had. So
why do we have to go over this shit? Cause I feel, I know for a fact, actually, which I can't even, cause I can't with some of y'all. Some of y'all don't fucking know geography. It's really fucking weird, cuz it really is like it be your own fucking people, cuz it be your own people. Some yuck mouth would be like, you know, Black Americans, like, why you talking about your grandparents like that?
You Jamaican, and you telling me Black Americans don't know where they from?
Fucking weird. Like, oh, you're not African British, you sure?
What's the guys that I don't work about the video? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I post videos every Tuesday and Saturday, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I post. So Britain, United Kingdom, GB, we need to do better, man. We need to do better. I grew up thinking that British people are really proper, really polite. They just like to mind their own business.
Yuck mouth.
So what makes you think I don't like London?
I like your video. I think you're a cool guy. It seems like you're always getting on to people in London. Every time you stop people, you're asking them about, you're asking them about, I don't know, maybe things they know about America, or their misconceptions about Americans, and then you're checking them. Most of the time, those people don't even ask you questions.
Alright, true. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
How am I getting up?
No, it's the vibe. It's more like your manner or your tone, the way you approach them. It's almost like you're looking to catch somebody out.
This shit is disgraceful, cuz. Honestly. Let's go watch y'all be a disgrace. It's really pathetic.
In the continent and in countries on the continent of Africa, looking at what we need to do around, also I've been partnering with technology companies around digital inclusions.
Jamaicans are American.
We have one of our Jamaican sisters, and shout out to Jamaica. She's gonna just really give the real about America and how it is in the area of working. Let's go roll.
The Caribbean is America. Like literally, cuz you can't talk about like the colonization, excuse me. You could never talk about the colonization of the Americas and, like, you know, not have the Caribbean included in this shit. It's just, like, how'd y'all fail geography, cuz? Yeah, we're from different countries. That is correct. I'm not Canadian, but Canadians are Americans. I live in the United States of America. I bet your stupid ass thinks Africa is one country. You're like Asia's one country, cuz. Indians are not Asian.
Let's get right into it. Where did COVID come from? Tell us.
Indians are not Asian. Okay? Okay? They're still people, great people. They're just not Asian people. Okay? If this guy is Asian, how come when he became prime minister, I felt absolutely nothing? I love how Indians try to have it both ways, like being Indian and Asian. Pick a lane, okay?
It's his perspective, I believe. We are part of the continent, of course we are Asian. There is no doubt about it.
I think it's funny. He's playing to the American stereotype of Indians versus Asians. In America, you think of Asians as East Asians, and you think of Indians and Pakistanis and Bangladeshis as Indians.
There's kind of stupidity in that. China, Malaysia,
Nigga, who thinks about Pakistani people as Indian? Cause nobody.
Japan, India, they all are part of the Asian.
Oh, did we mention that like they throw shit at each other over in India? So who kind of gives a fuck about what they have to say?
Continent. So in that way, we all are Asian.
I think people are getting offended very easily these days.